Hey guys, tonight we start in a place older than memory, where golden sand flows like time itself, and starlight rests softly on the ruins of forgotten empires. You're standing alone at the edge of a desert, barefoot, though it doesn't hurt. The sand is warm, like a blanket just out of the sun, and it shifts slightly under your toes. The air smells faintly of something ancient, not dust exactly, more like time that's been folded and tucked away. You're holding a compass, not the kind with numbers or directions. This one hums faintly and glows from within, a slow, pulsing amber. It doesn't spin, it leans, like a sunflower turning toward the sun, until it settles toward a shimmer on the horizon. Far off in the distance, under a deep navy sky peppered with sleepy stars, the Nile glints like a ribbon of silver. Palm trees sway lazily along the banks, barely moving. Everything feels paused, like the entire desert is holding its breath for you. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. I love knowing where these stories are being heard, so drop your country and local time down in the comments. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The first step is soft. You walk toward the glimmer, and the compass feels warmer in your hand, almost like it's guiding your pace. Not rushing, not dragging, just leading. The dunes roll gently in every direction, like golden waves frozen mid-ocean. Here and there, small rocks peek out, fossils maybe, or old boundary markers. No animals, no wind, just the crunch of your steps and a sky that seems too big to belong to one world. Every few minutes, the compass gives off a soft click, like a heartbeat. You follow it without question, because this is a dream, and in dreams, you don't doubt. As you walk, you spot something strange, small, flat stones arranged in a spiral, half buried in the sand. You crouch, brush the surface. They're carved, not letters, but images. An ibis, a sun disk, a boat with curved ends. Symbols you've seen in books or museum glass cases. Historians still argue whether these symbols were part of a formal writing system or magical charms meant to guard the desert paths. Whatever they were, they feel important now. You rise and continue walking. The air gets cooler. A breeze picks up, carrying with it a low hum, almost like music, but far away, like a melody someone hummed thousands of years ago that never quite faded. Over the next dune, you spot something glowing faintly beneath the sand. You dig gently, using your hands. The grains fall away like water. It's a mirror, cracked, tarnished, but still reflecting the stars. A forgotten hand mirror? A ceremonial tool? According to some fringe scholars, mirrors in ancient Egypt weren't just for vanity. They were portals, not to another world, but to your true self. Pharaohs were often buried with them in case they needed to remember who they were in the afterlife. You leave the mirror behind. You won't need it. You're dreaming, and dreams remember you. Ahead, something rises out of the sand. Not a pyramid, but what looks like the top of a column, as if a whole temple lies sleeping just beneath the surface. Your compass glows brighter, guiding you there. You approach slowly. The stars above begin to swirl. Not in a scary way, just softly, like they're stretching. You don't feel dizzy. In fact, You feel more awake than you have in days. The column is carved with lotus flowers and looping symbols. Your fingers trace them. The stone is cool, smooth. A scarab beetle scuttles nearby, pauses, then disappears behind the column base. And then, just as the compass clicks again, you feel it. A low vibration under your feet. Faint, like the earth is whispering. You look around, nothing's changed, and yet everything feels different. The sand seems to retreat a little, uncovering more stone. A faint staircase reveals itself, curling down into the earth, lit only by the compass glow. The entrance waits, and though you should feel scared, you don't. Because something in you knows this is where you were always meant to go tonight.
The stairs are narrow, but not steep. You descend slowly, your fingers brushing against the rough limestone walls on either side. They're cool to the touch, but not cold. More like the inside of a cave that's remembered the sun. The steps beneath your feet feel ancient, worn down by 1,000 ghostly pilgrims who may or may not have ever really existed. Your compass still glows, a muted honey gold now, dim enough not to blind you but strong enough to show the way. Its heartbeat pulses in your palm with quiet certainty. As you move deeper, you notice the silence thickening. It's not just quiet, it's the kind of stillness you can feel, like a heavy velvet curtain drawn over your ears. The only sound is the soft brush of your own footsteps and the distant trickle of something. Water? Sand? At the bottom, the stairway spills into a chamber, low-ceilinged, dusty, empty, except for a single archway that leads out into the desert again. Only this desert feels different. The air is cooler, the sky is somehow lower, less infinite. The sand here is darker and the dunes ripple with a kind of memory. You step through the archway and suddenly the stars are gone, replaced by a soft, milky mist. You walk forward and the ground gives way slightly beneath you. You're on an ancient caravan path, the kind once traveled by traders and nomads, moving silently across the Saharan night. The compass clicks softly, and you follow. Historians still argue whether these routes were mapped by stars, scent trails, or pure ancestral memory. But here, in this dream version of the past, you can feel the path beneath you. Not in your feet, but in your chest, like a thread gently tugging your heart forward. Along the way, scattered objects lie half buried in the sand. A broken ceramic jug, a single sandal, a bronze ankh pendant shaped like a key. None of them seem threatening. They feel more like offerings left behind for you to find. You pause beside a stone marker, short, stubby, inscribed with what looks like a cluster of eyes. According to fringe Egyptologists, desert dwellers once believed the sand itself had a consciousness, that it could see, judge, and sometimes even protect those who respected it. You're not sure if it's true, but the marker gives you the strong sense that you're being watched, but gently, kindly, like the desert approves of your presence. Further ahead, something flutters. You move toward it slowly, the compass still pulsing. It's a piece of fabric, blue and gold, caught on a thorny shrub growing out of the sand. As you reach to touch it, you smell faint perfume. Frankincense? Myrrh? Whatever it is, the scent wraps around you like a lullaby. Someone was here recently,
or they left this for you long ago, knowing you'd arrive someday. You continue walking. The sand shifts beneath you like a soft tide. Above you now, the mist is beginning to break. The stars return, but they're different, arranged in strange constellations you don't recognize. One looks like a giant eye, another like a staircase, a third, oddly enough, like the very compass in your hand. You wonder if dreams make constellations, or if constellations dream of being followed. Then, ahead of you, a flicker of firelight. You crest a dune, and below lies a shallow basin with the remains of a long-dead campfire. Around it sit 4 low stools made of stone and wood, worn by time and sand. No one is here now, but they were. The air still carries the warmth. You crouch beside the ashes and spot a strange little object, a figurine, no more than a few inches tall, a lion with the head of a man. You smile softly. A sphinx. The compass clicks again, more urgently this time. You rise. The path now leads between 2 tall dunes that rise like gates. On one, etched in the sand, is a shape, a feather. The feather of Maat, the symbol of truth and balance. In Egyptian belief, your soul was weighed against it in the afterlife. If your heart was heavier, it would be devoured by a monstrous beast. You step between the dunes. The air feels heavier here, as though you've crossed an invisible boundary. Not dangerous, just deeper, like walking into the part of a dream you don't control. The sand begins to glitter faintly under your feet. You look down. Tiny shards of glass? No, fragments of colored beetle shells catching the light in greens, blues, and purples. Scarabs. Sacred in the time of pharaohs, they were believed to roll the sun across the sky, just like dung beetles roll their precious orbs across the earth. You remember the scarab earlier, back by the temple. Maybe he's watching still. The compass pulses again, this time like a heartbeat syncing with your own. And up ahead, you see it. Half buried, leaning like it slept too long in the sand. A giant stone structure. It's not a pyramid, not exactly. It's older, more worn, more forgotten. The wind whispers your name, maybe not your real name, but the one your soul remembers. And you step forward. The lotus blossom in your palm is impossibly soft, cool but not cold, light but full of weightless meaning. You trace its edges, and for a moment it hums, a vibration like silk brushing silk. Then the petals fall still. The chamber is quiet again. But the statue is not. Queen Hatshepsut, still carved in onyx and still unmoving, feels present now in a way that's more than stone. She is broken at the base, the kind of statue no longer worshipped but never quite forgotten. Her features, once regal, are weathered with time, the lips chipped, the crown cracked. Yet in the soft glow of the dream, she is more real than most people you've known awake. You take a hesitant step forward. And again, without sound, you hear her. This time, it's not words, it's questions. Not spoken, but asked, deep in the bones of the room, in the corners of your memory. Why do you dream of the past? What do you seek to reclaim? And what will you trade for knowledge that can't follow you home? You don't answer, or maybe you do, without words. In dreams, the line between question and answer is only breath. The compass pulses once in your palm. Behind the statue, a doorway opens, not with noise or movement, but with sudden awareness. You simply realize it's there now. A hallway, narrow and curved, leading somewhere deeper. You step around the statue, pausing just beside her outstretched hand. Her fingers are broken, 3 missing, but even so, the gesture looks deliberate, like she's holding space for someone to pass. You bow your head slightly, a sign of respect. Then you enter the hallway. It curves downward, gently. No torches, no flame, but the walls begin to glow faintly with soft patterns. Not hieroglyphs now, but something older. Spirals, stars, river currents drawn in thin gold lines, like veins inside the earth. Scholars still debate whether such patterns ever existed in real temples, or whether they were imagined by scribes who wrote more in metaphor than stone. Either way, they're here now, and they are beautiful. You trail your fingers along them as you move, and for a brief moment, you see images, memories, flashing behind your eyes. A young boy floating down the Nile on a basket of reeds, a woman weaving papyrus scrolls by candlelight, an old man kneeling beside a broken obelisk, whispering a name to the wind. All of them familiar, all of them you, but not you. The hallway widens into another chamber, round, high-ceilinged, with a shallow reflecting pool in the center. The water is perfectly still, so still it looks like polished glass. You approach the edge. Your reflection waits. Except it's not your face, not entirely. You're dressed differently, wrapped in linen, gold bands around your arms, skin bronzed by the desert sun. Your eyes carry 1,000 years. You look like a priest, or a scribe, or someone who once mattered in ways long forgotten. You blink, and the reflection changes again. Now you're a builder, muscled, dusty, laughing as you wipe sweat from your brow. Behind you, the foundations of a new temple rise toward the sky. Then, again, it shifts. Now you're a thief, creeping into the tombs by starlight, pockets heavy with stolen amulets. One more blink, and you see yourself as you are now. Just a dreamer, barefoot in a world long lost, holding a compass that has no compass rose. The reflections fade. You sit at the edge of the pool, the cool stone pressing into your legs. You let your feet dangle into the water. It doesn't ripple. Behind you, you hear a faint rustle. You turn. She's there again, Hatshepsut. But this time, she's whole. Not as a statue, not as flesh and blood, something in between, like a mirage drawn by memory and moonlight. She doesn't speak, but she watches you. Then, slowly, she raises a hand and places something on the ground beside you. A mask. Gold, smooth, stylized features, the kind worn in burial or rebirth. You reach out. Your fingers brush its surface, and warmth floods your chest. A sensation like walking into sunlight after 1,000 years in shade. It doesn't hurt. It feels like remembering. She nods once. Then, without drama or farewell, she disappears, like mist whisked away by a breath of wind. You look down at the mask. The compass rests beside it. Both glow now, not brightly, but with soft, rhythmic confidence. You feel a pulse between them, as if they're syncing. You rise.
The door behind you remains open, leading back the way you came. But ahead, opposite the pool, another door has appeared. This one is woven of light. Not carved, not hinged, just there. A shimmering veil of gold threads dancing in the air. And beyond it, you see shadows moving. Stalls, lanterns, fabric. A marketplace. But it makes no sound. Not yet. The compass clicks. The mask hums. And you step forward, once more, into the dream.
The veil of gold parts without touch. It doesn't open, it simply lets you through, like a memory remembering itself. You step gently, and the air changes instantly. The silence deepens, but not in an empty way. It feels full now, like a held breath, or the quiet hum of a room just before music starts. You're standing at the edge of a marketplace, but it's not like any you've ever seen. There are stalls, but no shouting. There are fabrics fluttering, but no wind. Lanterns hang from invisible strings, glowing with a soft moon-colored fire that doesn't flicker. The entire market glows, as though lit from within, and yet there are no shadows. Everything feels suspended, between time, between breath, between the end of one life and the beginning of another. You step gently, and the air changes instantly. Beneath your feet is no sand, no stone. The ground is made of woven papyrus, tight as linen and warm as skin. It flexes slightly with every step, like walking on old parchment that has stories still trapped inside it. The first stall you pass is filled with mirrors, hundreds of them, small and circular, some cracked, some polished, some so cloudy they look like stormy skies, but none reflect you. Instead, each one shows a different person. You pause. One of the mirrors shows a child sleeping. Another shows a woman painting hieroglyphs onto a temple wall. Another shows someone standing in a market, watching a mirror, watching you. You blink, and the images shift. You move on. The second stall smells like cinnamon and desert honey. Jars sit in neat rows, each labeled in a script you can't read, but feel you understand. They don't contain spices. They contain memories. A jar labeled "First Rain After Drought." Another, "The moment you realized you're loved." And one, "The last step you took before turning back." You lift one gently. The glass is warm. Inside, something glows softly like amber catching a flame. You don't open it. Not yet. A merchant sits behind the stall. You hadn't noticed her. She's older than dust and younger than stories, her face hidden beneath linen and gold thread. She doesn't speak, just nods. You place the jar back. The next stall sells dreams, literal ones, rolled up like scrolls, sealed with wax, tied with red string. Each has a tag, dreamed by a pharaoh on his deathbed. Another, dreamed by a stargazer who never returned. And one, dreamed by someone who will dream you. You feel dizzy for a moment, like your feet aren't quite touching the papyrus floor. But then the compass pulses in your hand, gently, steadying you. You keep walking. There's a stall filled with broken statues, noses chipped, arms missing, a half-buried jackal,
A woman carved from lapis, with her eyes replaced by black glass. You don't know why, but these feel comforting. You realize, softly, that every one of them was once believed in, and still is, by someone. You reach the heart of the market. Here the stalls fall away. Instead, a giant open space stretches out, framed by columns that hold up nothing but sky. In the center is a pool, not water, but black glass, like the one you saw before. In its surface, you see your reflection again. This time, it's all of them. The priest, the builder, the thief, the dreamer, all standing beside you. And one more, someone you haven't been yet, wearing a mask, holding the compass, looking forward. You don't flinch, you don't question, you nod, and the image dissolves. Above the pool, in the sky, something begins to shift. Constellations swirl again, faster this time, as if time is spinning, as if your dream has stirred something awake. 3 new stars flare. One forms a samurai helm, another a Viking ship, the third a city skyline lit with gas lamps and flickering neon. The compass clicks in your hand, louder this time. The market stalls shimmer, the veils close, and the dream begins to gently fold. You turn back toward the path, but not out of fear, just ready. The mask is still in your pocket. The compass still glows. And somewhere, beyond the veil, the next destination is waiting. But now it's your choice. So tell me, where should the compass take us next?
The dream quiets now. The stars slow their swirling dance. The sky settling back into stillness. One by one, the lights of the market dim, not extinguished, just sleeping, until only a gentle glow remains at the edge of your vision. The compass in your palm softens too. Its pulse grows slower, calmer, each beat fainter than the last. Not fading, but resting. It knows you've traveled far enough for tonight. You take one last look over your shoulder. The veil of gold has disappeared, and behind it, the strange stalls and silent merchants have become nothing more than warmth in your memory. Your footsteps retrace the papyrus path, slowly, gently, like walking backward through time. The desert greets you once again, not blazing, not harsh, but calm. A blanket of soft, cool sand curling around your ankles. The dunes no longer whisper, they breathe. Above you, the constellations are still, like they've returned to their rightful places. And the temple you left behind, it's already half forgotten, like a dream that dissolves when morning fingers brush across your face. You breathe in, the air smells sweet, like ink, like night flowers, like stories. You breathe out, and your body relaxes, heavier now, softer, wrapped in the hush of distant lands and voices long gone. There's no hurry. You're not rushing toward waking, nor away from dreaming. You're floating, gently, between the two. The compass dims to nothing, and the dream releases you with the kind of quiet affection only the oldest places remember how to give. Wherever you are, you're safe. Wherever you're going,
You'll get there. But for now, just rest. Just drift. Just dream. End of script. Sweet dreams.